Some time ago, we worked on a project for a client that halfway through the preparation got not cancelled but paused. So we put it back into the drawer and moved on to other projects. And then quite recently, we got the information that the project was back on with a very tight deadline, but the original team wasn't there anymore. We had no resources. After negotiating, we had some resources, but way too little to deliver the scope of the project by the given deadline. And all in all, it was a very difficult situation. But good news, fast forward, we made it happen anyway. I earn my living as, I'd like to believe, a professional software product owner. But I also believe that this experience applies to other areas, other projects equally well. I'm Michi. Welcome to Daily Reflections, and let's find out together how we made it happen. Given the situation, which was difficult, which can occur and usually occurs regularly, maybe not that dramatically, but in similar ways, there is one key thing to do, which is taking your time. Taking your time is so important and was important for us because if we would have got the team finished preparation, went to work on it right away, chances without like thinking, reflecting, discussing the details of the project scope, chances are that we wouldn't have been able to deliver it as expected and as promised. So what we did is we deliberately took the time. We didn't start the next day, but we took the next couple of days to really figure out the situation, our possibilities, and also took the time to go back to the client and renegotiate the scope of the project to see what is really important, where the baseline is, and what kind of features and functionality we could eventually drop from the project. So that was our first step. But this takes time, especially when communicating with the client. That doesn't happen from one day to another, and you cannot do it without communicating it to them. And then once you're in the project, once you kicked it off, now, what we experience and what we experience in other projects as well is that while you're working on it, there are new requests coming in. You're constantly showing your progress to the user, to the customer, and they will have new ideas. They will have new requests for additional features, and we were very strict on saying no to those. So there was no chance that we would further extend the scope of the project because, again, this would have caused us to not be able to deliver. And then a third part is that while you're into the project, although you've tried to figure out all the details beforehand, while you're working on it, you come about you go into situations where things you thought would work out don't, or take much more time, much more effort. So in those situations, you can need your time, you need some sort of space to clearly think, to discuss the matter, and decide whether it's really important, like 100% necessary, or if not, and then factor in how much time and effort it will take and whether it potentially negatively affects the shipment of the product. Again, this requires internal communication. This requires communication with the customer And this, in both areas, requires time. So again, rushing into things won't make the situation better, but it would make it worse. So the key thing to do in those situations and in many others is to take your time, think about it, and communicate transparently to internal stakeholders, but also external ones. Yes, we may have put some additional effort into it from a development perspective, but we didn't work like tremendous over hours. So that was not the reason why it worked out, but we really tried hard and we invested a lot into controlling the project, controlling the project scope, because as long as you're in control of that, it increases the chances that you'll be able to deliver as promised. And as said, it worked out. Think about it and please share your experience in terms of difficult situations, difficult projects, and how you deal with them. I'll see you next time. Take care.